The business application software space is transforming. Nucleus Research did a study of mid-market organizations, and they found these common business application challenges. We found that many of the organizations that we are and have worked with have had at least one or many of these problems. Businesses today are gathering data at alarming rates and need more than just a simple accounting system to record transactions. They need to be able to take data, gather useful insights, and help transform their organizations into the digital age. Dynamics 365 is Microsoft's next generation of intelligent business applications. What makes Dynamics 365 unique is that it harnesses the power of one Microsoft. Dynamics 365 comes in two versions: Business Central, which is focused on the needs of mid-market organizations. And for those organizations that require more advanced needs, there's Dynamics 365 for finance and operations. Some of the other value propositions. There's deep integration between Dynamics 365 and Office 365. This brings together the two worlds of business process and personal productivity. We surface familiar tools like Excel, Word, Outlook within the context of business processes, significantly increasing productivity. Power BI and Cortana Intelligence are natively embedded into the Dynamics 365 business applications for predictive insights, prescriptive advice, and actionable next steps. Additionally, Azure IoT brings device data to enable preemptive action in business functions, much like field service. Businesses can also adapt and innovate in real time with a common data model and extensible business application platform, including Microsoft Power Apps, Microsoft Flow, and Power BI. Microsoft has also introduced App Source, so business users are able to easily find and evaluate line of business SaaS applications from Microsoft and partners like us across Dynamics 365, Office 365, Cortana Intelligence, and Azure platforms. Today we're going to focus on Business Central. Business Central allows you to be able to connect your business processes, make smarter decisions utilizing the data in the common data platform with the Power Apps Suite, Flow, Power BI, and you are able to start with the applications you need and grow as your needs grow. For example, if you want to just start with financial management and lift your data, financial data into the cloud for business analytics with Power BI, you can start there and then add the lines of business applications as your company grows. This adds to your appropriate business processes, and that this is very unique for Microsoft in their value proposition. Although there are on-premises versions of the solution, the power of this platform is the Microsoft Cloud. We can go into a whole presentation on the benefits of the cloud. I'd like to, in the next couple slides, point out a few of the benefits of the Microsoft Cloud. Because the data is not within the realms of your four walls of your organization, it's extremely valuable that you trust your provider that's holding your data. Microsoft is committed, starting at the top, to providing a cloud you can trust. That's one of Microsoft's ongoing mottos. There's no doubt that the cloud platform is here to stay, and companies are moving to the cloud at a rapid pace. Right now, 80% of the Fortune 500 companies are on the Microsoft Cloud. Microsoft has invested more than $15 billion in their infrastructure across 100 data centers, and those numbers are growing daily. Another one of the benefits of being on the Microsoft Cloud platform is that the applications and data can be accessed from any device. This is something that should be expected and necessary to keep current with your competitors. It supports being able to capture data sooner and respond to business activities more quickly. Here's an example of the tight integration between Dynamics 365 Business Central and Outlook. Within Outlook, the system can automatically pull up a customer or vendor record based on the sender's email address. And it's not just read-only information. You can actually create quotes or invoices right from Outlook. This rich integration exists across all of the Office 365 applications. And I will be showing an example of this in the demonstration section of this presentation. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a live demonstration of Business Central. All right, now I've switched over and we are now looking at the home screen for Dynamics 365 Business Central. In this demonstration, I am going to go through how you navigate, use role centers, personalize Business Central, and I'm also going to show an integration with Office 365. What you have access to in the system is based upon your role and security within that role. There are over a dozen predefined roles in the system, and your use of the system can be further defined by your requirements. What we're going to walk through today is the role of a business manager, which is what we're looking at here on the screen. And the goal of these role centers is to make sure that you get the most use out of the system and data processing and be able to take action on the data that's being processed in the system. So as we move down the screen, you see a user-definable dashboard of the most commonly used actions, reports, and activities. And in the activity section, I'm going to stop on the tile section of the dashboard. These tiles are actively updated as transactions are entered into the system. The colors will help point out items that might need your attention. So if we go ahead and we click on the activities and set up queues, we can see all of the predefined queues that we can have on our role centers and be able to define our thresholds for our traffic light alerts. This allows you to be able to make sure that you are aware of items that you need to take action on in a proactive nature. So these tiles, as I said, are active. You have the ability to be able to drill down on those. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select the sales orders and click on that tile. And you see the active for sales orders that we have in the system that you can do further analysis on. If I highlight on any of those sales orders, you can see in the fact box on the right more information about that specific customer and that specific invoice. I can also actually drill down into that invoice itself. So now we're into that invoice. You can do additional information and about that invoice itself. So I'm going to go back up to the home page and I'm going to scroll down and bring you down to one other section that I want to show on the home page. These are the other parts that you can customize and add. The one I wanted to highlight on was the Power BI section of the dashboard. This Power BI, for those that are not familiar with Microsoft's Power BI business analytics service, that delivers insights to enable fast, informed decisions. It allows you to be able to transfer data from any source into stunning visuals that you can share across any device. We have one example here on the dashboard. This company's 5 top items sold by quantity. If I click on the Power BI dropdown and select reports, What this will bring up is all of the canned Power BI reports that come with Business Central. Power BI also comes with a purchase of Business Central. You have the ability to be able to adjust these pre-built reports, or you can create your own reports within Power BI. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move to the top of the screen. And as you can see, this home page was designed for the role of a business manager and what makes sense for them to be able to see quickly. What I want to show you is an example of another role page by going in and seeing how that will change the view of this role center. So I'm going to pick Sales Order Processor. What this is going to do is refresh the screen and change the role center to what it would look like for someone that processes sales orders. So as you can see, this is now changed to have the items that would make most sense for someone entering sales orders in the system. As with the other role centers, this is the predefined look. You have the ability to be able to change this as your needs change. So just to give you an example of that, let's go back to the business manager and I'll continue showing you the ability to be able to navigate in the system. Now we're back to the business manager role, and what happens with most of customers is want to be able to, if you have want the ability to be able to access screens or reports that aren't on your role center, you have the ability to, one, either use the drop-down menus that you see here, relevant to your role and security access. Or the other thing we can do is we can use contextual help to be able to find information in the screen. What this is very useful for is if I know where I want to go in the system, but I might not want to navigate through the panel, through the menu system, or want to be able to access it through the role center. So what I'm going to want to do here is I want to enter in a brand new customer. So I type in customer in the lookup, and what the system gives me recommendations on is what page, report, or help documentation that I might be looking for. I was looking for how to enter a new customer, so I see that here, so I can click on that. And that will bring up here in a second the customer card where I can enter a new customer on the screen. So very quickly, you can either use the menuing system or you can use the contextual lookup. Most customers, kind of gravitate towards one or the other. Another thing that we can do with the system is modify our look and feel on how our dashboard or role center looks. What Microsoft Business Central calls that is personalization. So what I'm going to do is I showed you earlier the Power BI reports, and for my use of the system, if it is more beneficial for me to have that up near the top of my dashboard, I would like to be able to move it. So the way I do that is I turn on personalization mode. And as you can see, I'm personalizing for the screen. I go ahead and I grab my Power BI reports, part of the dashboard. I move that up to where I want it, drag and drop. And now you see it has moved my Power BI reports up to the top of my dashboard. I now have the ability to be able to say done and save that personalization for subsequent entry into the system, or I can clear that personalization and it will return that personalization back to where it was by default. So that's one of the things that I can do with personalizations. Another thing that I can do is I can hide, move, or add fields to screens. So I'm going to go ahead for, in this example, I'm going to open up a customer card and show you how you can hide and add fields to screens. So I'm going to open up a customer, and this is the customer card out of the box. And I, in my business processes, have found that I do not have use for these two fields. So what I would like to do is hide those fields and add some useful information for my business processes. So again, I turn on Personalize. I can highlight that field. You see I have the ability to be able to move that field or hide it. So I'm going to hide it. And I'm going to do the same with the CFDI relation. So now I've removed those fields off of the screen. What I would like in the place of those fields is I would like to see the salesperson code. So I clicked on Add Data Fields to the page. What comes up is the box on the right-hand side of the screen. This gives me all of the fields that I can add, and you can see the two fields I could add that I removed that I could add back to the screen. And there's the salesperson code. So I pick up that field, I drag it to where I want it, and drop it, and now I've added salesperson code to the customer card. So very easy personalizations, very powerful. You don't have to have programming background to be able to use customization, personalizations within the system. So that goes through the navigation. So on the last part, what I would like to show, which I think is really powerful, is the integration with Microsoft Office. And the example I'm going to use, we have examples with Excel and Word and PowerPoint. The one I would like to show is in Outlook. So I'm going to bring up Outlook, and I have here a quote from ask for a quote from a customer. And when you implement Business Central, there's an option to turn on integration with your business Outlook inbox. And what that does is it adds these two icons to the screen. So what I'm going to show you here is when I click on Contact Insights, it's going to authenticate into Business Central. And what you're going to see is, I kind of think of this as magic. What it's doing is it's actually reading the email and utilizing business intelligence to say, hey, you just got an email from John Haddock Insurance Company. It brings up the information about that customer. So before you even send that quote out to them, you can see past due balances, what their aged AR is. Should we even be selling to this customer to begin with? So in this example, I want to see they're interested in an office remodel and a quote for some furniture. Well, I want to make sure that someone else in their organization hasn't already purchased that furniture. So I'm going to go down and look. I see I have a sales order out there already. So I'm going to drill down on that sales order to make sure that that furniture hasn't already been purchased by someone else at our customer. And lo and behold, the conference room tables already have been purchased. So knowing that information, I'm going to generate a quote for just the London swivel chairs. So I go up, I click New, and do a sales quote. Next thing you'll see is some more business intelligence. It's again going to read the email and suggest what line items do I want on that sales quote. Well, I just looked up and know that these 5 conference tables are already on order. So I'm going to uncheck that, click OK. And right within Outlook, it generated a sales quote for me. And just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to actually go back and show you that quote 19 has been created with inside Business Central. So as we go back and I go into sales quotes, you'll see that there's quote 19 that I had generated right from Outlook. So some pretty cool stuff using business intelligence to eliminate data entry. So let's close the loop. The customer then says that we get this email that we've reviewed the quote and we'd like to order the swivel chairs. So I go ahead and I can click on new, and instead of now a sales quote, I want to generate a sales order. Again, it'll make sure authenticate into Business Central, making sure you have proper authentication and rights to be able to process this transaction. It suggests ordering, doing a sales order for 7 swivel chairs. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And now you see we've generated an order for those 7 swivel chairs. Again, I'll go back to Business Central and show you that order has now been processed within Business Central. And there's our order. With 7 business chairs. So extremely powerful. I've shown, I could have taken this whole process solely through Outlook, but I've taken a sales quote, an email from a customer requesting a sales quote, create a sales quote, processed all the way through processing a sales order, all through Microsoft Outlook. The business intelligence built in and that you're on the one Microsoft platform speeds the process and eliminates unnecessary data entry. So today I've shown you an introduction to Business Central, how you navigate, use role centers, personalize Business Central, and the strong integration, seamless integration with Office 365. I want to thank you very much for your time, and I hope you contact us to show you how Business Central could work for your business.